Hello and welcome to this new video from me. Today we play in a Regulation G best of 3 against Francesco Pardini. And Francesco is a veteran player. He played back in the day because he is a 2011 I'm repeating 2011 Italy national champion, and he also won Italy nationals in 2015. So he's a multiple national champion, and I have the honor to play against him today. And I'm using a hard trick room team, a team I never played before. You will see the team in just a little bit, but first let me know who I should play against next, and also let me know where I can improve again, because I want to give you the best content possible. And that being said, let's get right into the team building part. Here we are, and starting today, I am using the team Diego Ferreira used to get top 8 at Worlds with. And this brings me to my next question. Should I bring very well-known teams, but good teams to showcase them, to give them a little spotlight? Or should I try to build something myself and then present those to you? Because I will create a rental. You can find the rental in the description below, and you can obviously find the paste in the description below. So let me know what you prefer. If I have to build own teams, the teams might not be perfect, because building a perfect team just does not happen in 2 hours. And then I also have to do less videos, I think, because I want to bring good teams, and then building a team, getting the team ready in game and everything is a little harder. But what I can provide if I use known teams is own EV spreads, because I will EV this stuff on my own. I will not use the EVs from the creators, and sometimes the teams are not even made public, so you can have a recreation from me, which also works. But let me know what you prefer. But yeah, starting with the Diego Ferreira team, he was using a very unconventional hard trick room team with some sets you've never seen before. First, though, we have Ursaluna with a standard set, I would say. Some people drop Earthquake for a substitute, which also makes sense because this team, I can tell you how many protects this team has. 1. And the 1 protect is on Ursaluna. So you Earthquake everything on your own. The cool part is that you have some nice resists, like Ogapon resists Earthquake, Terra Grass Torkoal resists Earthquake, and you have White Guard on Gallade, but you gotta be careful when you click it. But you can close out endgames with Earthquake, and that is pretty cool. Or what you can also do is that if you have a Pokemon in the bag you want to switch in, but you cannot safely switch in, you can KO your partner with Earthquake to get this safe switch in, if you understand what I mean. Terra Fairy is the choice, because Terra Fairy really helps against Zamazenta, for example, because Heavy Slam is not really strong, because Ursaluna is also very heavy. But Terra Fairy, it's been a while since I played Regulation G, because these are my first Regulation G games, by the way. Terra Fairy obviously also helps against Urshifu Rapid Strike, especially if you set up the Sun as well. You basically resist close combat and surging strikes. You can obviously also run Terra Ghost. That's something some people do, but Focus Sash Chiempao is very good into Trick Room, and if you have Terra Ghost, you are always weak to Chiempao. It's either the Ice weakness or the Dark weakness, but with Terra Fairy you can also be neutral against that, and you are also not weak into the knockoff from Incineroar, for example. We are running Min Speed to make sure that we can underspeed Amoonguss, because that's the only Pokemon next to Torkoal that can underspeed Amoonguss. And Terra Water Amoonguss can be a pain, because Ogapon Wellspring is the only spoil immunity, and if it is in Trick Room, it can be removed by the partners, and maybe you lose Ogapon early to get the Trick Room up. So having something to outspeed Amoonguss is pretty good, especially because we are not Terra Grass on Gallade or Calyrex, so that's the choice here. Next up, we've got Ogapon, and I think Diego used a less HP investment. He had 180 HP, but with this EV spread, now I have to remember what it does. You survive Booster Energy Draco Meteor from Raging Bolt, most likely. You survive a Terra Stellar Close Combat from Jolly Urshifu. You survive a +1 Glacial Lance from 116 plus like 116 EVs Adamant Calyrex-Ice, because that's a spread people want. You survive a Sludge Bomb from Landorus. What else was there? So it's just a really good defensive spread. We are faster. We are 1 point faster than Timid makes beat Landorus I want to say, because Landorus T doesn't really see any usage in Regulation G, but Landorus I does. This is pretty interesting to see, but being faster than Landorus I is just really important. You can also run max speed to speed tie other Ogre Pawn, but I thought it isn't worth it. Having this extra bulk can pay off, and the interesting part is we don't have Spiky Shield on this Ogre Pawn. Follow Me makes sense to guarantee Trick Room going up, and Taunt is also really good to prevent taunts from the opponent, Imprison, because some people their matchup is to use Imprison Trick Room to stop Imprison, but with Taunt you can stop exactly that. And we have Woodhammer instead of Horn Leech. That is really good if you want to KO yourself to get your Trick Room sweepers in, or just get the one-hit KO on Urshifu, because Horn Leech without attack investment never one-hit KOs Urshifu Rapid Strike, so it's also really good for that. Really good partner for a lot of Pokemon here. Also, you can punish water types, which are really good into Calyrex and Torkoal with Ogre Pawn's Woodhammer. Next up, we've got the first interesting set. Or I think the Ogre Pawn is also interesting already, but Psychic Seed Gallade with Terra Fire is just really cool, because you can make sure to get Trick Room up because of a special defense boost, because most special attacks are spread attacks. If you play against something like a Kyogre, for example, with Water Spout, Gallade is able to survive a Water Spout, so you can lead Gallade and Indeedee, go Terra Dragon with Indeedee, because the Kyogre teams only have this one spread move. You can go for Terra Dragon, Follow Me, and Trick Room, which is pretty cool. You could say you have also White Guard, but if they just go for Hydro Pump, that is sometimes not great. And Psychic Seed just helps against Raging Bolt, Calyrex Shadow Rider as well. And you have no item, which is also good into Incineroar, because then the knockoff does less damage. And to be fair, which other item do you want to play? We saw Clear Amulet quite often, but if you have a Calyrex-Ice, the Calyrex-Ice is a prime Clear Amulet target. You could consider playing Safety Goggles, but I think Psychic Seed is just really good, because most of the time, if you bring Gallade, you also bring Indeedee, and just having this special defense boost is really good. White Guard, one of the best moves in a restricted format, because there are a lot of Pokemon with Water Spout, Glacial Lance, Astral Barrage, Precipice Blades, Eruption, Heat Wave from GU, Dazzling Gleam, Flutter Mane. Like, the list keeps going and going, so White Guard is just really good. And then we have both stabs, and the investment is made to do as much damage as possible, but also outspeed Ursaluna Blood Moon, because if Ursaluna Blood Moon is a lead into that team that is quite annoying, I think. If I'm wrong, please correct me on that. But being able to survive or to outspeed Timid Blood Moon and just KO it with Sacred Sword is really good, because you can lead Gallade and Indeedee, go for Sacred Sword into Blood Moon and Trick Room with Indeedee. Otherwise, they can just go for Terra Normal Blood Moon and nuke one of your slots immediately. And that's why I thought being 1 point faster than Ursaluna is really good. And the rest is just into HP to make sure that Gallade stays longer on the field. Next up, we've got Indeedee. And Indeedee with this set is, I'm playing Calm with a Rocky Hammer, which seems weird. But I wanted to survive 2 Terra Fairy Dazzling Gleam from Choice Specs Miraidon in Psychic Terrain. That is really good, and you also are most likely to survive a modest Draco Meteor as well, and you survive a timid Terra Electric Electro Drift from Choice Specs Miraidon as well. The cool part about this Indeedee is that it has Heal Pulse, a move that you have not seen that often on Indeedee. We saw Healing Wish in Regulation H quite a bit. Chef used it. We saw Follow Me, Helping Hand, and Trick Room. And yeah, the cool part, or the annoying part, first of all, is you don't have an attacking move. So if you get taunted, you're in a big, you have a big problem, because you also don't have Mental Herb. So you have to make sure that you do not get taunted on your Indeedee. But if they click taunt and you just use that turn to switch into your sweepers like Ursaluna, Calyrex, or Torkoal, that is really, really good. So you have always this option in the bag. And Rocky Helmets is just really nice to break the focus sash from the most common focus sash ones. Chien Pao, Urshifu Rapid Strike, Urshifu Single Strike. With a Rocky Helmet, you can break those sashes. Otherwise, it would be quite annoying because they can go for Protect, switch out, survive a move, go for Protect again, and all that stuff. But they cannot do that as easily if they don't have the focus sash intact anymore. I was not sure how much speed to play because it only matters for heal pulls. Follow Me, Helping Hand are priority moves anyways, and Trick Room is a minus priority, which can, there's no other move in that priority bracket, so that does not really matter. But heal pulls is the important one, and I thought having neutral speed is kinda better because if you have Trick Room up, you attack first and then you go for heal pulls. But if you don't have Trick Room up, you want to get the heal pulls up first before your opponent moves, to heal your opponent to get Trick Room up and then do the same stuff again. So that's why I thought dropping a V's in speed does not make sense on Indeedee. Correct me if I'm wrong again. I've never played this archetype before, but I think that is the best Indeedee spread possible. Glacial Lance, Calyrex-Ice, I called this one Glacial Lance because its signature move is Glacial Lance, I guess, is there to best spread move in the game. Glacial Lance really strong, especially on a Trick Room team. Imprison is really cool though. That's why we also have some speed investment, because some Calyrex are invested to have 77 speed, I feel like, if they are on a Tailwind team or if they have a Tailwind option, because 77 speed makes them 154, which is faster than obviously Urshifu, Adamant Urshifu, but also Modest Chiyu, which has 152, and Modest Landorus, which has 153. So they have 154, and that's why I'm running 78 speed to be faster than them by 1 point. Because if we go for Imprison, they can't do anything, because the most standard Calyrex-Ice set is Glacial Lance, High Horsepower, Trick Room, Protect, and then the only thing they can do is Protect, and that is really, really cool. We have max HP to make sure we survive for a long time, and the last bump in attack, because we want to do as much damage as possible as well. You can also invest a little bit into special defense, because that ensures to survive Astral Barrage as well as Miraidon's attacks better, but I didn't feel like doing it, so yeah. And last but not least, we've got Torko with a Assault Vest, actually, instead of a Charcoal or the Choice Specs, or Flame Plate, which is basically the same as Charcoal. And the cool part about this Torko is that it actually survives quite long. You survive a Terra Ghost, Astral Barrage, Choice Specs from Calyrex Shadow, as well as a +2 Astral Barrage from Calyrex Shadow. You can take hits from Miraidon. You cannot take an Electro Drift in Electric Terrain, to be fair, but in Psychic Terrain you can take the moves better. You can switch into Kyogre, for example, because Kyogre sets up the rain, and then you can set up the sun and still not die to a water spout or origin pulse, and that is pretty cool. And you can run for attacks. Clear Smog really good into Dondoza and other setup stuff. There's a lot of setup running around in Regulation G, so that makes sense. And Terra Grass Solar Beam is also really good into the water types, and with Terra Grass you have another Spoil immunity, and Eruption and Rubber Ball are just the main steps. And I invested more into special defense because the physical defense is just so good already, and if you invest into the special defense together with the Assault Vest, this makes this Torko way, way, way bulkier on the special side than just investing into HP. And that's why I chose this spread. Let's see if it's good. I think Diego also played 160 HP. I don't quite remember, but this might be his spread. So yeah, with V6, we will head into my very first Regulation G game. So let's see how it goes. Good luck to Francesco, and let's do it. Alrighty, let's go. Here we are, and it's the first time I'm playing Hard Trick Room, and I honestly don't know how to play it. We are playing against Francesco Pardini, a national champion, and he is using the team I think Oliver Ascolin used to get top 16 in the World Championship. It's the only Kyogre team that made it into the top cut of Worlds, and Alex Soto used it in a Spanish Invitational as well to get to first place. The Spanish International was super stacked. I think all top players like Victor Medina, Alex Soto, Eric Rios, Alex Gomez, all of them played in it, and Alex Soto was able to win with it with that team. So let's see how it goes today. Calyrex is really strong. I expect him to lead with Kyogre and Cineroar, just because Kyogre has a good matchup into Calyrex-Ice, and Incineroar has Will-O-Wisp. So I really want to lead with Ogerpon. Do I lead with Ogerpon and Didi? He will bring Rillaboom Amoonguss in the back, I feel like. Ursaluna is also really good, but not in the lead, because Ursaluna will just get Origin Pulsed. I can force a Terra Grass on the Kyogre and then punish it with Calyrex later. Gallade is also just really good, but I think I prefer Ursaluna. I think I should have brought Torkoal actually, to remove the rain from Kyogre. But I thought that Ursaluna just gets a KO every time it comes in with Facade, and it is also immune to Spore once I get the Flame Orb activated, and that's why I lead with, or that's why I bring Ursaluna instead of Torkoal in this game. I could bring Torkoal in the next game though. Gallade is also not bad because fighting Psychic coverage is just really strong, but we see an Incineroar Roaring Moon lead. That is interesting. The problem is he will switch. I think he will switch Incineroar to Rillaboom and use Knockoff on my Indeedee. It's also this is a really bad lead. Not gonna lie. I will switch. I can taunt the Incin. But if he switches to Rillaboom, I have to play aggressively. I can go Terra Dragon Trick Room. I will switch to Ursaluna and go for Terra Dragon Trick Room, I think. So we switch. I think he will hard switch Incineroar to Rillaboom. He loses nothing by doing that. Yeah, that's Rillaboom. Now I can just claim a KO with Facade. He will fake out my Ursaluna, that's for sure. But I will just switch with Indeedee, so that I get terrain control later in the game. Knockoff as I expected. Oh, we didn't even need to Terra. I thought since we are calm Indeedee it would KO. But it didn't. It's Speed Booster Roaring Moon. That was obvious because he is Tailwind. If you're interested in his open team sheet, take a look into the description. Because I didn't explain what he is using, but I can see it, so you can open it yourself as well. I can use Facade on Rillaboom. He can knock the slot again, so I could go to Ogerpon, but I think it's fine going Calyrex. Even if I lose my Clear Amulet, Glacial Lance, Facade, Incineroar does not really want to switch into that. And once Incineroar hits the field, I can go to Indeedee, block Fake Out, go for another Glacial Lance. So I think that's fine. So I can go for Facade into Rillaboom. Because if I remove Rillaboom, I also get terrain control. And the Roaring Moon is not super scary, I think. Because I can always KO it with Glacial Lance. So yeah, I Facade with Rillaboom and switch to Calyrex. He could go for Fake Out into Ursaluna and knock the Indeedee slot again. That's possible, but as I said, I'm fine with that. He switches to Incineroar on that slot. Yeah. Does he go for Fake Out? Does he just Wood Hammer? He goes for Fake Out, yeah. And now I am in a prime position to just go for Glacial Lance, Headlong Rush into Incineroar. The slot will die. He can obviously use Fake Out again, but I could switch into Indeedee. What I can do is switch into Indeedee on the Calyrex slot. On the Calyrex slot, and use Headlong Rush on the Incin. I can also try to remove the Rillaboom by going for Headlong Rush into Rillaboom and Glacial Lance. But I think if I remove Incineroar, I just win by spamming Glacial Lance. So I will use Headlong Rush into Incineroar and Glacial Lance. Even if he goes for Fake Out, he can only Fake Out one of the slots. If he Fake Outs Ursaluna, I get a Glacial Lance off. If he Fake Outs Calyrex, I get a Headlong Rush off. So yeah, he switches instant. Now I wish I would have Headlong Rushed the Rillaboom. Because he goes Terra Fire for sure. Yeah, if I used Headlong Rush on the Rillaboom, the game would immediately end. But I get really good damage on the Kyogre, which is also great. I didn't go for Facade because Glacial Lance Facade does not KO the Incineroar, and this is a good position still, because as you can see, with Headlong Rush, it doesn't quite put it in Glacial Lance range, but I can go to Ogapon now. Yeah. He goes for U-turn, okay? That makes sense. So that he gets Incin in again. But he Terrestrialized. He has no more Headlong Rush switch in. He could use Fake Out on Calyrex. I know that. And Origin Pulse. Do I lose anything by switching Calyrex into Indeedee and use Headlong Rush into Incineroar? He could get a double KO, and I don't like that. 2 turns of Trick Room. I think it's fine if he Fake Outs Calyrex. I get Incineroar and Glacial Lance range, and then he gets a Origin Pulse off, KOs my Ursaluna, gets a lot of damage on Calyrex, but then I can go Indeedee and just Heal Pulse my Calyrex and go for another Glacial Lance, or maybe even High Horsepower. Yeah, I think that's okay. Headlong Rush with Incin and Glacial Lance. He could go for Fake Out, switch Kyogre into Rillaboom again, just trying to stall my Trick Room, but I think I will get a second Trick Room up this game. Yeah, he switches Kyogre into Rillaboom, right? Now High Horsepower would have been great, but I get this. Oh my god, does this KO? This KOs. And I am slower, so I'm faster now. We got one more turn of Trick Room. And if Trick Room ends, we still have Ogapon Wellspring, which outspeeds both Kyogre and Rillaboom, and KOs both of them with Ivy Cudgel. The Roaring Moon, we can redirect the Roaring Moon with both Indeedee and Ogapon to get a Trick Room up with Calyrex as well. So yeah. Do I have a safe win play? We don't have many protects on our team. That's something to keep in mind. I'm a little scared that if I switch into Indeedee, I will do that row. Switch to Indeedee, go for Glacial Lance, because I'm scared that he goes for Wood Hammer into Calyrex, brings me to Origin Pulse range, and then he gets a double KO here. But even that should be okay. He goes for Protect, and he Wood Hammers the Calyrex, right? Oh, he Fake Outs, okay. That's amazing, because now what I can do is just Trick Room, follow me. Yeah, he cannot freeze my Calyrex, even a crit does not KO, and then I just spam Glacial Lance, so I go for follow me, Trick Room, right? He could U-turn, then he gets, like, he can KO my Indeedee, get terrain control, but if I have Ursaluna and Calyrex on the field, I can just spam Glacial Lance Facade, and yeah, that should be fine. I have enough turns, yeah. I can also just go for follow me Glacial Lance here and get a double KO, actually. Yeah. Why do I think so much if I just get a double KO right now? He goes for a Ridge Impulse. Even a crit does not KO. This was a crit. Yeah, I was about to say. I wanted to say even a crit does not. Oh my god, 1 HP. What I wanted to say is even a crit does not KO, and then I see the damage, and I'm like, wait a second, did a crit actually KO? But then I was like, this was a crit. Calyrex-Ice is quite bulky, and now we get a double KO. Boop, and yeah, that's game. I could obviously try to play for a 4-0, but why bother? Like, honestly, why bother? Since I can now switch into Ogre Pawn, and on the slot he's going to use Wood Hammer on, and then I guess KO him with Ivy Catcher, or he KOs himself with Recoil, but I will give him the 1 KO. Yeah, I will just go for follow me, Glacial Lance. He can go for fake out, but yeah, he's irrelevant. It doesn't really matter to play this out. Okay. What do I want to do for game 2? So Torkoal with Assault Vest would have been nice, but not necessary. Interestingly, he brought Roaring Moon instead of Amoonguss. As I said, I predict him now to lead Incineroar Kyogre, because I can... how do I punish Instant Kyogre with Rillaboom Amoonguss in the bag? I think that's what I need Torkoal for, so that Kyogre, even if it gets a Core Mind early, I have Clear Smoke on Torkoal, and I cut the damage output. And I think with Incineroar, Kyogre, Rillaboom, Amoonguss, he's a little weak to Calyrex-Ice, but Roaring Moon does not really help against Calyrex-Ice. Fun fact, I have not even played a single ladder game with this team. So, Hard Trick Room, here, what are the Hard Trick Room warriors? I think the best one is Brian Collins, together with Diego, of course, the team... this is the team from Diego, and I think Diego also always runs Hard Trick Room, and also Alex Soto, of course. These are the top 3, and they are all from different continents, which is pretty funny. Diego Ferreira, Brian Collins, and Alex Soto. I think you can also mention Chef. What was Chef's name? I only remember him as Chef, with a clear amulet Hatterene. He also plays that kind of stuff. But yeah, this is whatever for now. Let's focus on this game. I could lead Indeedee again. Based on the Roaring Moon Incineroar lead, if I lead just these 2, I'm in a good position. That's why Ursaluna was good, but I really want to bring Torkoal, I think. Gallade also has White Guard, and it is Terra Fire for Incineroar. So what about leading Gallade Indeedee? I think that's fine, and we bring Calyrex in the back, as well as Ogerpon as a Spore immunity. Or actually I bring... Yeah, second follow me. I want to try these 4 this time. Not bringing Ursaluna is weird, because Ursaluna just gets a KO on everything with Facade, pretty much, but I follow a certain game plan. Maybe he doesn't bring Warring Moon, and then this Gallade is really, really good here. Incineroar Kyogre. That's what I expected. And so Sacred Sword one-hit KOs Incin. So he has to go Terra Ghost. And he will probably go for Parting Shot on my Gallade. I have an idea, but with Hard Trick Room, I feel like you sometimes have to go for plays that look very crazy, but sometimes they are not that crazy. What I was thinking of is going for Trick Room and switch to Calyrex, because he will Parting Shot into Rillaboom, and then I can go for Glacial Lances and get terrain control. I could also just go for Sacred Sword to force a Terra. Don't go for Trick Room yet. Switch Indeedee into Ogerpon to force, to pressure the Kyogre with. I like that. Because the cool part is, if he goes Terra Ghost with Incineroar now, he cannot Terra his Kyogre, and then he always dies to Wood Hammer. So I think that is pretty risk-free, and I try to get up with Trick Room later. Oh, he Ice Beams that slot, okay. He crits me. That's annoying, but he doesn't Terra. The Sacred Sword does not quite KO, and he uses Parting Shot onto that slot as well. Wait. He clicked Ice Beam Parting Shot? You remember when I said I switched Indeedee to Calyrex-Ice? I would have resisted the Ice Beam, and I would have been immune to the Parting Shot. That is wild. The annoying part now is that he got a crit, but that's also fine. It's annoying, but also fine. That's weird. The problem is, he could go for Wood Hammer into Gallade and Origin Pulse, and I would always die to the double up. So I can go for Trick Room, Follow Me, but if he goes for Fake Out into Gallade, I am in big trouble. I could also switch Gallade to Indeedee, use Wood Hammer on Kyogre to force a Terra again, and if he doesn't Terra, that means that I get a Wood Hammer off, and if he Terras, I just win by spamming Glacial Lance. So let's do that actually. Switch Gallade into Indeedee and go for Wood Hammer into Kyogre. He could go for Protect and U-turn the Ogerpon, but even that would be fine, because then I get the Trick Room up with my Indeedee. Ah, he Terras. So I would have won. I know I said in the last game with would've, but if I went for Follow Me Trick Room, the game would immediately end, because he didn't click Fake Out either, right? Yeah. But he played this one really well. The thing is, he goes for Ice Beam, I survive that. And he U-turns. And now he goes to Incin. Okay. I have terrain control. I am not allowed to get burned on my... Calyrex. I have no item, so the knockoff from Incin is also weaker against Gallade, but the Origin Pulse is stronger because I don't have a Psychic Seed. Does Gallade survive a double up from knockoff? Knockoff with no item. Origin Pulse from Kyogre does like... way too much. Holy sheesh! What? Okay, I underestimated Kyogre quite a bit. That does so much into Gallade. I have to win a 50. It's a mind game. He goes to Incin, yes. Actually, is it a mind game? I can go to Glade and just... I can also Trick Room with Indeedee. Yeah, I can go Glade. And I can use Sacred Sword into Instant and Trick Room with Indeedee. The problem is, I think his last is Among Us. So, I could have used Psycho Cut into that slot, into Insyn, but maybe he did not bring Among Us. He didn't bring Among Us in game 1 either. So, and I brought Ursaluna and Orapom Wellspring in game 1. Oh, don't go to Among Us. Okay, Rillaboom. That's fine. Origin Pulse. Sacred Swords. So now we have Trick Room up. And if he didn't bring Among Us, I just win by spamming Glacial Lance. So we saw that our Glade was slower than the Kyogre, so now it's faster. And the problem is he can use Fake Out onto my Glade. Wait, who got Grassy Terrain Recovery first? I didn't pay attention. Was it Rillaboom or was it Glade? Because if it is Glade, Wildcard has the same priority bracket as Fake Out. So what he thinks he can do is use Fake Out into Glade. I can use Heal Pulse as well, like Fake Out Glade and Origin Pulse. But I really want to get Calyrex on the field and to block Origin Pulse. So swap in and having Psychic Terrain in the back is also good. So this, and I will go for Wildcard because Wildcard will go before Fake Out. And if his Rillaboom was faster, he will always go for Woodhammer into Glade, and then I protect the Origin Pulse, or protect my Calyrex from an Origin Pulse. So let's see. He switches Rillaboom, okay. He has Among Us. That is bad. He will always click Spore into Calyrex, I feel like. Wait, it always is like... It's a mind game. Because if I switch Calyrex into Indeedee, Psycho Cut will one-hit KO the Among Us. And then... how many turns of Rain are left? 1. So if I switch Calyrex into Indeedee, he could get a double KO with Origin Pulse, but I KO Among Us. Then he can go to Rillaboom and have Fake Out pressure up. So, I can also hope that he doesn't get good sleep turns. So I will use Psycho Cut into Among Us and Glacial Lance, right? Yeah. Glacial Lance, Psycho Cut into Among Us. This is Incineroar to make sure... Oh, this is Rillaboom. I thought this is Incin to make sure that the Among Us survives the Psycho Cut. Okay, he spot that slot. Wait, if I switch to Indeedee, I would have had terrain control. No, my switch would have happened first. So he would have had terrain control. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Never mind. Psycho Cut, 1-hit KO. Nice. It's not a contact move, which is also good. And now we see which Pokemon is faster. Is it Rillaboom or is it Glade? Oh, Rillaboom is faster in Trick Room. Okay. So we burned 1 sleep turn now. He goes to Kyogre. I can go for Terra Dragon on my Calyrex. Or I just go for Wildcard. 2 turns of Trick Room. If he KOs Glade, That's fine for me. Because then I don't want to go to... I can obviously also go for Terra Dragon Glacial Lands. Here, Terra Dragon Glacial Lands and switch Glade to Indeedee. But if he U-turns that slot, he gets terrain control. I don't like that. So I will go for Glacial Lands, White Guard. I don't need any damage. I don't have to deal any damage with Glade because... okay, he goes for Fake Out. Fine. That's honestly fine. And I get the 1-turn Wake Up, and with that we win the game. Yeah. If I did not get that 1-turn Wake Up, okay, we crit the Kyogre, this probably didn't matter, and even if it did, next turn I have, he gets a double KO with Glacial Land, he gets Glade KO'd with Origin Pulse, but Calyrex only takes 50, we saw it in game 1 how much the crit did, and then I get terrain control and I have 1 turn of Trick Room left, so I go for Glacial Lands and Heal Pulse into my Calyrex. I get a double KO unless he protects the Kyogre, but if he protects Kyogre, I KO the instant. And then I can go, Trick Room ends, but then I can go Terra Dragon with Calyrex to take less damage from Origin Pulse and go for Follow Me to not get Ice Beamed and go for another Glacial Lance. And if I stay asleep here, I would always win with a 2-turn Wake Up as well, because I can just go for Glacial Lance and Heal Pulse. As I said, he has to switch Willer into Instant. Towards Instant I get +1 attack, and then I go Terra Dragon with Calyrex, and I go for Glacial Lance and Trick Room with Indeedee. He has to go for Fake Out and Calyrex and Origin Pulse, KO my Indeedee, but then my Calyrex is still able to survive Ice Beam into Warhammer, and that's why it was always game, unless he gets a free turn sleep, or I get a free turn sleep with my Calyrex. But if I sleep 1 or 2 turns, I win pretty much. I hope I explained it very well. And with red, we win 2-0 against the Italy national champion, Francesco Pardini. First time Hard Trick Room, but it went pretty well. And I think I played it like a Hard Trick Room player. I don't know. Please send this to good Hard Trick Room players and tell me how I did. GG, Francesco, GG. So yeah, we win 2-0, and it was a really good set. I think both of us played really, really well. The first time I played Hard Trick Room, and it was kind of fun, but I don't know if I will stick to it. Do you enjoy playing Hard Trick Room? Let me know down in the comments below. And also, as I said in the beginning of the video, let me know who I should play against next and which teams I should play. You can give me cores, you can give me ideas, you can send me pastes. I will not take one-on-one pastes because, as I said, I will EV the teams myself. But if you have an open team sheet I should try out, feel free to share, but make sure that you don't plan to bring it anywhere, because this will be made public. That being said, I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.